Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's budget versus Harris's budget and the difference between the two. One of the hot topics in this election is the economy. And along with that, of course, comes the discussion of the deficit and debt. A study from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget analyzed both budgets and their effects of what they would do. Currently, the national debt sits between $35 and $36 trillion. The analysis of the two budgets assumes that Congress would actually do something to implement them, and it measured their impacts on the national debt over the next 10 years. That's just another reminder that a president's economic policies are felt long after they leave office. Hint, hint. The Harris budget includes raising taxes on the top income earners and on corporations, coupling that with a lot of tax breaks for the middle class and those starting a small business. The result, if she got what she wanted, well, in typical tax and spend liberal fashion, it would add $3.5 trillion to the growing national debt. Can you believe that? $3.5 trillion. Typical. Okay, so what about Trump? His plan focuses on tax breaks for the wealthy, some for the middle class, and a whole bunch of tariffs. So what does that do if he gets what he wants? Well, in typical fiscal conservative fashion, it would add $7.5 trillion to the national debt. Wait, what? That's right. Donald, King of Debt Trump, would add more than double what Harris would to the national debt. So, the idea that he would somehow eliminate the national debt, which was one of his original campaign promises, seems laughable. Now, these types of reports always come with a degree of uncertainty. So rather than just look at the most likely scenario, let's dig a little deeper and look at the whole range of possibilities. We'll look at the low end of the range of possibilities first. It's worth knowing that this is almost an impossibility. But it's almost an impossibility, not impossible. Trump's low end of the range is $1.5 trillion added to the national debt. Well, that's lower than Harris. Right, but if you compare apples to apples and look at Harris's low end of the range, the amount is zero. That's right, if everything goes perfectly, in the best possible case, the Harris budget adds nothing to the national debt, and Trump adds $1.5 trillion. Okay, let's go to the other end. What's the worst case in the report? For Harris, it's $8.1 trillion. For Trump, $15.2 trillion. Let's be clear on this. In an apples-to-apples comparison, the Harris budget always wins out over Trump. In fact, the Harris budget's absolute worst-case scenario is less than $1 trillion over what Trump's most likely scenario is. None of this should really come as a surprise. Trump's term in office was plagued by increases in the national debt despite his promises to eliminate it. Yes, even before the pandemic exposed his faulty economic policies and forced even more spending. I'll put a link down below to an article with a bunch of charts and info that's useful to have on hand during discussions about this. At the end, the report is clear. If you care about the national debt, as MAGA types like to say, you can't vote for the MAGA candidate. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.